Welcome back to the show, guys. I'm Buntri, and today I'm gonna explain to you about SUMX and SUM functions in DAX. I'm gonna explain the difference between the two, and also I'm gonna talk about the calculate columns as well. So if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And without any further delay, let's jump into my Power BI desktop. So here is my Power BI desktop, which contains the sales table from the benchmark download from Microsoft. And in that table it contains my quantities, order quantity, unit price, discount amount, product standard cost, total product cost, and sales amount. So let's say I want to calculate the total sales for this particular table. So I would go in and would create a new measures. Let's do that. I'm gonna name this total sales SUM. I'm going to be using a SUM function with SUM, and then I want to use the sales amount column. So that's going to give me the total sales of 29,358,000. Now let's say I didn't have the sales amount, so I want to calculate the sales amount. So how would you do that? So to do that, you would use you would multiply the quantity by the unit price. So there's two ways you can do it. You can either using a measures, which is a SUMX, an iteration function, or you can use a calculated columns. Let's do it with a measures first. So to do that, I would create a new measures. So new measures. Now I'm gonna call this total sale SUMX, so we know this is a SUM function. So a SUMX function, it's an iterated function, which means it will go through row by rows. Okay, gonna go row by row. So think of SUMX as a like an Excel. It's reference the cells row by rows. So it's going to go row by row, okay, row by row. Okay, now let's go back. So here I'm going to type SUMX. Now SUMX is a table expressions, so you need to apply the table. In this case, it would be sales. Expression is just a formula. Okay, so expression is the order quantity multiplied by unit price. Okay, so if we go back to our report table, if we bring that measure in, SUMX, it can give you exactly the same total. Okay, so that's a SUMX function. Now let's say we didn't have the sales amount column. We could create what they call a calculate columns. Okay, let's do that. So new calculate column. So I'm going to call this sales amount column equal, we're just going to multiply quantity, order quantity, by unit price. Okay, so now we have the total sales amount column using a calculate column. So we just have to sum that up. Do the same thing again, we're going to sum that up. Total sale column sum sales column, just one here that we just create. Let's bring that in. That definitely going to be the same. Okay, now you might ask, so when do we use a calculate columns and when do we use a SUMX? Because they both return the same results. So with a calculated column, the data in the column is stored in a memory database. So meaning that a calculate column is made before the model is ever queried by the user. So from a performance perspective, calculate columns are positive when there's a smaller virtual memory requirement as the user interact with the report. The downside is that calculate columns take up more storage in your database. Code columns can give user other advantages such as the ability to view values in the column or use of the calculate column in a slice or in a measure to filter data under certain criteria. Okay, and sometimes you could create a you want to also classify those items as low, medium or high price. So we can use the following DAX range calculated to accomplish that. Okay, so although there are additional technical and performance consideration for when to use a calculate column and when to use a measure, the high level differentiation between the two are use a calculate column when you want to evaluate each row by rows. Okay, use a measure when you need an aggregated. So now I hope you understand the difference between a sum function and a SUMX. So sum is just sum everything by column, whereas SUMX it just goes row by rows. Okay, and you just want to make sure that when to use a new measures or when to use a calculate column. So think of create a new column. You want to calculate row by row. For new measures, it's going to be sum up by columns. Just have to remember that. So I hope that videos explain for you to understand, and if you like the video, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll have new video next. I'll see you in the next video. So we'll have some more video next week. Bye for now.